And hopefully we have some new partners on the line. I want to welcome all of you and understand that we get together to empower each other, to share ideas, to inspire each other. I'm your host, Bernita Monk, out of Atlanta, Georgia, and I am providing some information that hopefully will inspire all of us this evening. And so to this evening, we're going to be talking about a subject that's pretty exciting. But let me just tell you what the name of our call is called the Power Six. And, we're going to be modifying some things pretty soon because, the original purpose of this call was to show you a simple duplicatable system of enrolling six partners in order to maximize a binary plan and matching bonuses. And now that we have our 9 ways of pay, the exact system that we came up with is not appropriate, but it has to be elaborated on, and that's what I'm working on. But what is so significant is now, see, we used to not get matching bonuses on 6 different levels. Now we get a chance to match bonuses on 6 levels once we qualify for the mentorship matching bonuses. So when you see that, that is way more lucrative than what we even had. The whole thing is people have to understand we're trying to develop leaders. What we're doing right here is not for the timid. It's not for the person who is not willing to roll up and go to work. One thing Harvey and I have learned, my husband and I have learned as far as being around some of the people that are making millions in this business, I promise you, every last one of them, when I have a conversation, they're not sitting back, most of them, are not sitting back twiddling their thumbs. They're out there working. There is no way, although we have a scalable business, we have a system that is duplicatable, still, it takes work. When you think about professional athletes like a LeBron James and people like Stephen Curry, there were years and years of practice. Those people, they worked very, very hard to get to where they were. And all those years of elementary, maybe high school, college, they worked hard. They don't get paid the kind of money that they get paid to be average. So what we're trying to do is the purpose of this call is to elevate all of us so that we're above average. If you do above average things, you'll get above average money. And so tonight, though, we're going to be talking about a subject called the principle of infinite abundance. How many of you know there is no limit to what can be accomplished in this world? When you look at this picture right here, look at the sun, look at the ocean, you can't even see the end of it. You can't even see the heavens and the earth. You can't even see it all because it's so infinite and so abundant. That's a beautiful sight. Some of the things that are free in life are the most beautiful things in life. But we want to talk about infinite abundance when it comes to how we can have our hands on wealth. How can we achieve wealth and to get it to a point where it's infinitely abundant? See, there are certain principles, very simple principles that need to be taken place. I hope I'm recording this. I think I'm recording this. Let me see. Okay, I am. There are certain principles that need to take place in order for you to, become wealthy and have a world around you, the world of abundance. And it takes relationships and ideas to make money, you guys. Think about this. The concept that we are operating on right now with LifeWave, it's all about an idea. Started with an idea. In our presentation, our PowerPoint presentation, you hear it talked about all the time, ideas. And so that's really David Smith created and developed an idea that we can take hold of. And then we take our relationships and apply this idea and earn money. So money is simply a tool for exchanging value. Let me just read this to you. Value doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from an idea, a way to solve a problem or improve something. We talk about it in our PowerPoint presentation. solving problems, solving the problem of health and the fact that people's stem cells are dormant. Nobody knows this. So this idea is up to us to communicate that. And then it's going to come from a relationship, someone who trusts you enough to exchange with you. See, if they don't, if a person, you call a person up and start trying to share an idea with you, they got to trust you to a certain degree. So a lot of people that we meet on a cold market basis, that's a person that you never met before, you just met them. The first thing I encourage you to do is warm up to them, make them like you. Don't just start talking about what you know. I mean, I know you hear people say this, but I suggest that you make them like you first. Become a friend of them already. You know, when you first meet somebody, how you just really, really like them. Let them warm up to them, and then start asking them questions. So a relationship, they got to trust you to some extent, or even if they trust you enough to exchange numbers. So because without both, money rarely flows. So you can have a brilliant idea, but without relationships, no one hears about it. You can have great relationships, but without ideas, you have nothing to offer. So, you know, it's one thing to go around and knowing everybody, you the party animal, everybody knows you, but without an idea, you have nothing to offer people. So, you know, so we're talking about becoming wealthy now, okay? So let's talk about the multiplier effect. When ideas and relationships combine, they multiply. That we are able to scale our business because we have an idea, we're sharing it with people, and then the process of duplication allows us to multiply. Not many other streams of income allow you to multiply. Literally, like I'm an interior designer, I can't multiply what I do. I mean, I can hire some contractors and stuff, but I cannot scale my business unless I hire a bunch of other designers. And that's a lot. That's a whole different thing. If you understand what you have your hands on, you have a vehicle in your hand that's going to allow you to multiply. That's where you're going to scale your business. So let's talk about how to create affluence. I want to share, where is it? One of my books that I've talked about before by Deepak Chopra called Creating Affluence, okay? And one of the things that he talks about in this book, because this book says A to Z steps to a richer life. We're talking about the unlimited infinity. We're talking about the infinity of abundance, the principle of infinite abundance. That's what we're talking about. So A to Z, certain things he says, I'm going to have to read them because, you know, so many words. But under the letter M, he says M stands for making money for others and helping others make money. Helping others make money and helping other people to fulfill their desires is a sure way to ensure you'll make money for yourself, as well as more easily fulfill your own dreams. M also stands for motivate. The best way to motivate other people to help you fulfill your goals is to help them fulfill their goals. That's what we're doing. We're trying to help people become director. We're trying to help people become manager. We're helping them reach their goals. So that in turn, guess what's going to happen? You're going to reach your goals because we're talking about the multiplier effect. By the way, let me go back and edify Deepak Chopra before I just start. I should have done that because you need to understand he's a well-known, world-renowned mind-body healing, you know, that's what he focuses on, mind, body, and healing power. And so I have respected his work for years. And so he's a very wealthy man and has helped people reach their potential because of his concept. So that was the M, okay? Now, let me see what else I want to talk about is the E in this book. stands for exalting in the success of others. See, if you're not edifying and congratulating and just getting excited and encouraging other people, you're never going to make a lot of money. It's a law, right? So especially your competitors and those who consider themselves your enemies. Your competitors or enemies will become your helpers when you exalt in their success. See, people love to be edified. People love to be complimented. Even if you don't necessarily like those people, obviously, you know, some reason that we don't like people, whatever it is. But when you get on their side, then they're willing to help you. So E also stands for the principle that expectancy determines outcome. So always expect the best, and you'll see that the outcome is spontaneously contained in the expectation. You know, some of us are trying to qualify for this Honolulu trip. I reached out, one of our colleagues, not even on our organization, but it's another colleague that we see on every trip. We see them at every convention. We see them at All In, all this. So you already know I already know they're working on a trip. We have not won one trip that they were not on, not one. And so I reached out to them and said, how's it going? We're getting your points together. And they've been doing a lot of stuff, y'all, traveling and having fun, but they still needed, I think they still need about 50 points to get. They're trying to go for the 150 where the company pays for both of them and the airfare. I said, really? We got 2 weeks left and they still got 50 more points. Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I mean, like positive energy. That's the kind of people I like to reach out to. So but you know what I'm talking about is expectancy. See, they're expecting it to happen. They're not doubting it at all. You cannot put doubt in there at all. You never know what's going to happen. You know, and you got to stop limiting yourself on the lowest the lowest thing on the menu. For example, when we have all these different packages, the core, no, start with the advanced. You never know what people, we have some people on this call. I think I've seen them on the call that, even Erica, a couple of weeks ago, we had her on here where we talked about how she had signed up all these, like 9 customers in one day. Guess what she did the very next week? Signed up a premium. And then we have another person in Charlotte, North Carolina, Ruth Crosby, who signed up a premium. Somebody she just met. She signed them up as a premium. So don't dismiss, just judge a person thinking they don't have the money. You don't ever know what people have. A lot of times the people with the most money don't even appear to have any money. I know some millionaires that you cannot tell they're millionaires. H stands for happiness. H stands for, listen to this, you guys. H stands for happiness and humanity. See, that's what David Schmidt stands for, humanity, and the fact that we're here to make all humans we come into contact with happy. Life naturally evolves in the direction of happiness. We must constantly ask ourselves if what we are thinking, what we're doing is going to make us and those around us happy, because happiness is the ultimate goal. See, when we want money and other things like that, when we seek money or a good relationship or a great job, what we are really seeking is happiness. The mistake we make is not going for happiness first. If we did, everything else would follow. If your goal, let me tell you something. Some of you know my husband, Harvey. Now, Harvey is one thing about him, his when you first meet him, I promise you, he's gonna make you laugh. I don't know why he feels that's his what he's supposed to do on earth, but he loves to make people happy. He just likes to make people laugh. And that's how people warm up to him so readily, is because he wants to make them happy. And so that's what Deepak Chopra is saying, that if you try to make people happy, happiness is getting out of debt. Happiness is feeling better. Happiness is, seeing your family feel better and happiness is traveling. If you seek happiness, the rest will follow. The last one I want to talk about from this book is the Talent Bank. T stands for transcendence, timeless awareness, talent bank, and tithing. My personal experience is that without transcendence, life has no beauty. In order to live a full life, it is necessary to go beyond all boundaries. As I can't even hardly see this, the Sufi poet Rumi has said, out beyond ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. I feel that my experience of transcendence through the practice of meditation gives me an inner stability and the silence that is not overshadowed by my activity. That silence stays with me so that no outer experience can overshadow the awareness of experience of the self. Your meditation in inner perspective is so powerful. Sometimes when you just sit still long enough, and I know I have some prayer warriors on here that can tell you exactly what I'm talking about. When you're sitting still, and I sometimes I'm looking for ideas, I'm looking for solutions to certain things that I'm working on, and I say, God, I know you know the answer, but you gotta sit still long enough to receive the answer. I want to get to the part about talent bank. T also stands for talent bank. Listen to this. In order to maximize creativity and offer the best service, it is good to develop a talent bank or a coterie of individuals with unique and diverse talents and abilities, and whose individual talents, when added together, are more than the sum of the parts. T also stands for tithing. That's a whole nother story, but you should give away a certain percentage of your income without conditions. God, they say God loves a cheerful giver. Don't give anything if you're not going to give it cheerfully. So you guys, we are, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm not going to keep you long. I just wanted to share that concept with you. I want you to understand that you are at the right place at the right time, but especially for those of you who are new. Some things are going on and people are frustrated because of because of the income they're making. I get it. And it's affected everybody, not just you. But like I said earlier, the comp plan is designed to reward you for creating leaders. Okay. Now they're gonna, toward the end of this month, just hold your horses, because at the end of this month, you're gonna see some things happen that's gonna affect especially the people at the lower ranks. Because David Schmidt cares about us. He said this on a leadership call. I spoke with Steve Merritt. They're doing something about it, but because the new comp plan has so many components, it gets a lot of people confused. But listen, just hold on. But I want you to know that so things are going to get brighter. You might go ahead and put your sunglasses on because your future is so bright, you guys. But I want to pause right here because I just wanted to share, this idea. And I want to allow some of you, I'm going to have to make this where that you can unmute yourself. Oh, okay. I think you can unmute yourself. Let me see. No. Yeah. I think you can unmute yourself if you wanted to. Just make a comment, about when I was talking about meditation or anything like that, or the fact, I was just about to say, I know what I was about to say. I wanted you to elaborate on this, the fact that we're at the right place, the right time. We have the right leadership with David Schmidt because me and Harvey, we trust him no matter what's going on. I went on a tangent there. No matter what you see going on around you, you got to go back and look at the top and see who's driving this ship. Who's the captain of the ship? David Schmidt. He's a humanitarian for you all that are new on this call. He's a man, he cares about us. He's not going to let us fail because this is his company. This is his baby. This is his patch. He doesn't want us to fail. So you got to trust in that and trust your leadership. I know that I'm reaching out to a lot of you daily about different things. So trust the leadership. Trust the fact that our patch works. Trust it and go do the work. Use your relationships wisely. Thank you all so much for allowing me to share what I have to say. But I know I've got people on here and I hope you all can unmute yourself if you want to share anything. Are you all unmuted? Okay, well, maybe somebody's not, maybe I don't have it unmuted. I don't know. Oh, somebody's saying they cannot unmute. Well, I thought, let me see. Let me see what I,
Here I am.
there you
Yes.
go. Okay, I'm doing the wrong thing then. Okay, so now you can unmute. Sorry about
Hi, Verdita. How are you?
I am wonderful. Is that Renee Mason?
Yes, in Cincinnati. Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Let me see if I can allow you, one second. Let me see if I can allow you to share your screen. Yeah, you can.
Oh, I can't.
You don't want to?
I'm
Okay.
under the weather.
Oh, that's okay.
I have real bad sinuses today. I don't know if you can hear it, but yes, I am just always encouraged by you, and I thank you so much for even encouraging everyone about David Schmidt and his ways. The first time I've heard him speak, it was in Dallas.
Mm,
And I had tears coming down just
mm,
listening to him, and you can tell that he really cares about
mm,
everyone in this company. And it
mm,
made me so proud to be a part of this of LifeWave and be a brand partner. So
mm,
I thank you for reiterating that because a lot of times I've been in this business. It's been, well, it'll be 2 years in July.
mm,
And I've done well, but how sometimes people fall off and you just still gaining customers and brand partners here and there. But I'm still encouraged. And I do meditate and I've seen the vision. God has really shown me a lot with this company. And
wow.
I'm here for the long haul. I'm here for the legacy. I'm here
Mm.
because I can feel it. And
Woo, girl.
I respect you and your husband, Harvey, and I respect everybody, ZR and Reggie. I respect everyone because I've seen you all talk. I've been to Atlanta plenty of times, and I just really respect you all. And I feel like family when we're all together. And I thank you. And I just love seeing us win.
Girl, that's you said a whole lot of stuff, Renee, and my sentiments as well. Thank you so much for sharing those encouraging words. I hope somebody was blessed by what Renee just said because it definitely, we're a family and it's not, I mean, money, yes, we want the money. Don't get me wrong, but
Yes.
but it's not sometimes see, sometimes it's the person that waits, that waits.
Mhm.
When you say, when they talk about from a spiritual perspective, you wait expecting. Don't be waiting
Mhm.
and complaining. You got to wait with expectation. Well, I need somebody
Yes.
else to come on here and share something because we got to wrap. We got to get this call a little bit more exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Renee.
Well, I'll share something, Verdita. This is Kelly.
Hey, Miss Kelly.
Okay, so, you know, I attended the very first This Is It convention that we had.
Mhm.
And where were we? We were in Orlando, right? It was outside. And I had a couple that attended. And I got a really good testimonial today. His PSA had gone from 6 to point 0.5.
Mm,
And his doctor wanted to know, listen, I know we had done some things, but nothing I could have done could have made your PSA numbers drop this low. What are you doing?
ooh,
And he's been on the path. So in August, it'll be what, 3 years for them.
mm,
And you just never know. Earlier, you said something like you just never know. You just never know. You
mm,
never know when you talk to someone when they're gonna like come to life in a sense where they want to share and build a team, or there'll be some people who just want to get customers, but that's
mm.
okay because with our new comp plan, it makes it lucrative just to have customers as well. So I just want to say you're so right. You just never know. And then another little nugget, if I can drop, is that when you talk about where you want to be in life, I've always had a mindset. I'm from Detroit, single mother raised me, and but I and you've been a hard worker in corporate America, done a lot of things, owned a franchise, had 20 employees, so I know that side as well as corporate America. But you always have to see in your mind what it is you want. That's why they say making those bulletin boards or your dream boards are so important because that visual effect, for me, I could see it like if I close my eyes, behind my eyelids is like a movie screen. I can see things. That's why I've been good at designing. So, power of imagination is important as well as speaking your desired outcome. So, I avoid using words like don't and not, even when I'm instructing or coaching. Because if I want you to remember, I'm going to say remember, where the average person will say, hey, don't forget, I'm going to say, hey, please remember, be sure, make certain, because that's what I want the brain to be processing. So a lot of times when we're out here building and growing our business, just be conscientious of the words you're using, that they're positive and they're leading to your desired outcome. So speak your desired outcome, speak what it is. So when I'm talking to people, I'll always say, hey, I'm going to let you go ahead and I'm going to pat you now. But what I'm here, I'm going to be willing to share two more with you because it's going to take 2 days for you to get your own. And we're going to get you started. I don't ask questions, I speak what it is I'm trying to achieve. So that was just my little nuggets for tonight.
Wow, thank you so much, Kelly. And for those of you who don't know Kelly, what you might want to appreciate by Kelly, and I don't know if you want to elaborate any more, that Kelly told me that when she first read about the patches on This Is It Info, she already knew it was going to work because she's an electrical engineer. She knew the patch, she understood the concept, and she couldn't wait. And so so she got the top package and brought a whole lot of people on with the premium packs. I mean, she's a queen of bringing on premium packs. But that's what she got and got immediate results the very first day. So her testimony is powerful. And, she will tell you in a moment, her goal is to create millionaires. She's very fortunate to be very successful, and she wants to create more millionaires like herself. So thank you so much for Kelly for all that you do for the team. And
Thank you.
thank you. So anybody else want to share? All right. Well, you know, we don't want to keep you all long, but I know that some people have they want to say. I'm giving you one more minute.
Can you hear me okay? This is
Yes,
Jewel.
I can. Jewel, come on and share some ideas with us.
Awesome. Well, it's definitely a pleasure to be on the platform with all of the great leaders here. I took a scroll through. We got some amazing people on this call. And I just want to piggyback on everything everyone said because there's so many wonderful nuggets shared. And I want to encourage everyone to really, I believe we have to get to a point where we're coaching other people to kind of move out their own way. And what I simply mean by that is, sometimes we run into people that haven't exposed their warm market. And what brings this to my attention is I had a person that spoke to me last week. She's not on the call right now. I'm surprised, but she spoke to me because she felt a bunch of guilt because one of her best friend's father had transitioned, and this was a friend that she never shared the information with, and he had a situation that we have a million testimonies about this same situation he was going through. And she's been, knowing about this for over a year, and she never shared it with her bestie, and she felt bad. So she opened up and I felt bad because I never shared the information. And I think if I would have shared with him, he would probably still be here. And this is kind of personal. That's what she shared with me. And I just encouraged her, hey, we learn from our era. So let's make sure that we continue, that we expose everyone we can. Because sometimes people they're too involved in people's response versus really just focusing on sharing the information. We have to get better at sharing the information, not getting attached to people's yes or no or their response. And that's what I encourage her to do. So don't worry about the response. Just worry about getting better delivering the information by way of a video, invite them on calls, things of that nature. So sometimes people are just focused on the wrong thing, which makes them nervous, and it holds them back from sharing because they're too attached to what the response may be versus, hey, I just got something wonderful that I like to share with you that you may not know about. And so I want to encourage everyone to really just look at what the patch has done to so many people worldwide. And we really just gotta, I call it being more selfless, and open up and just share with the world and train yourself to not care about the response, but care about just getting better and sharing. And so I just want to encourage everyone to do that, because when we do that as a team, we're going to be incredible. And we, one of my favorite books is Jim Rohn's, Building Your Network Marketing Business, because he talks about how getting people to work together is kind of like herding cats. He's being funny and hilarious. He said it's like herding cats. He said, but when it works, it's wonderful. It's incredible. And so we kind of deal with that ourselves in one form or another. But when we work together as a team, it's going to be so incredible. But, it's like a basketball team. We are a team. Everyone has a position, and we have to be the best in our position and just delivering and open up and sharing the information. And when we all collectively do that, the success is right there in your path. It's right there at your grasp. So we just got to. I just want to encourage everyone to keep moving forward. Plug in. The young lady that spoke before, Kelly Fowler, talked about she went to she's been to many events in Atlanta. She heard David Schmidt speak, so she's been touched. That's like going to the Super Bowl. It affects you different when you're at the Super Bowl versus watching it on TV. And so I want to encourage everyone that you have to get out there and collect your nuggets. Your nuggets are like just different bits of information you're collecting over time until all the pieces of the puzzle is complete. And we have to make sure we keep gathering those nuggets. But when we don't show up for events, events that we can show up for, that we qualify for, when we choose not to do that, we're just passing those nuggets up, and the picture is never fully developed of success. And I want to encourage everyone, collect your nuggets. Every time you get on a call like that, you're going to collect a nugget here and there. Make sure you guys are definitely attending multiple Zoom presentations every week. I was talking to a person just recently, and I end with this, and the person asked me a question I couldn't believe they asked me. It was like, what happens when you're 60 years old with stem cells? What do they say after that? What's that mean? And he didn't know the rest of it, that you got 10% or less of your stem cells active in your body. And I was like, how many Zooms have you been on? This is somebody I know personally, so I can really, be direct with this person. I said, now that's why you have to be on multiple Zooms every single week, because you're going to catch something you didn't catch the first few times you watched it. You got to make sure you stay consistent and being present, even while you drive. And I'm driving right now. I'm in my truck driving right now, but I'm still attending a Zoom. I still can focus on where I'm going, but I can still hear the information and pull over if I have an opportunity to speak. So plug in, because we all have, we owe it to ourselves to leave legacies to our families, to ourselves. If you wasn't left millions, then it's up to you to create it and leave it to your next generation. So with that, thanks for allowing me to share, and I pass the call back over to you and your wonderful husband. Again, I'm very grateful for all the things that you guys do. I think sometimes people can take it for granted. I don't think people know that you guys don't get paid to do this. You do this out of your heart, out of your passion, out of wanting to see everyone win. You're no different from the rest of us, but you choose to do the extra to be successful. And I'm very grateful for it. And I thank you and your Harvey, and I pass it over to you.
Thank you so much, Jewel. And one thing that you talked about, I was talking about earlier in the call about the talent bank. And when you're saying we just do things to help, all of us on this call have a talent. And whatever your talent is, just be willing to share that. For example, like, I think it would be so exciting that every time we had somebody to get promoted or whatever, that we have a beautiful flyer that we just, we were able to use. I know I'm not good at technical stuff, but just stuff like that, because I have had times when I needed a flyer, didn't even really know who to go to, end up paying some lady out of Philippines, and she did, that amazing stories video. But yet there are people that know how to do that, but on the team, but no one ever raises their hand. But also, I wanted to say this may not be necessarily a talent, but it's a gift. If Gwen Millsap has you in her phone, you can expect a text message every day blessing you with a Bible verse or some inspirational note. That is a blessing. It's a gift that lets me know she is caring about you. She is praying for you. And this lady, that's why I said we got some prayer warriors in the call. This lady is very intentional about praying. Every single time, this is what she told me. Before she leave the house and she get ready to go talk to somebody or pat somebody, you better believe she's going to say a prayer. And she's going to pray for, she put that patch on him. And this is why she has so many people that when she puts that patch on, she gets a one patch wonder, because she prays something about prayer. That's a gift. So I'm just pointing out some things that we can all do. All of us have gifts. Like I said, Harvey's gift, first time I met him, he made me start to laugh. His gift is humor. That's his gift. And I don't know anybody personally that he could run rings around people when he get in his element. Run circles around people when he gets in his element, because he really is funny. But I get so used to hearing him, I don't laugh half the time. But when he gets in his element, you better be ready. Anybody else want to share anything before we end this call?
Burdita, I would like
Yes,
to share
Burdita.
Hey,
something.
Juanita.
Oh,
That's my
Yeah.
sister, Juanita.
Okay, so what I found is this. Many of us don't set a specific time to do our business. And, you know, they say that if you treat your business like a hobby, you will make hobby money.
Mhm.
And so, but full-time in network marketing is not 40 hours a week. It's about, 5 to 10 hours. If you can put an hour a day in, you are doing really well. And so what I've started doing is doing something that's called Power Hour with my team. And so we set up an hour every day where we just get on there and hold each other accountable. We put ourselves on mute, but we're just on there just calling people.
Mhm.
And that way we make sure that we get our 5 in and we're following that system. And I'm gonna tell you something, it works. Because when I do my 5, now I got if I only do it 5 days a week, I got 25 people that week. And so if you get a 10% success rate, you're signing up 2 people a week, and that's been working. It really has. I say, wow, this really does work if you do the work. And one of the scripture that I have been, leaning on is a Proverbs 13:4. It says the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied.
Mm.
And so I'm saying, so how do we make ourselves diligent? How do we make sure that we do the work? We set aside a specific time, be it morning, afternoon, or whenever we can do it. We try to do at least anywhere from 5 to 10 hours a week, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening. But set aside a specific time to do our business. And if you're talking to 100 people a week, you're going to be signing up 10. You're going to, I mean,
So that has been working. It's been manifesting.
it absolutely does. And then just making that prayer prior to it, and I include that scripture, the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. And,
Mhm.
and ask that we we allow our seeds to fall on good soil and hearts that are willing and able to receive, and do that prior to. And hey, it seems it's working for me.
And so one more question, Juanita. So while you're on this call, y'all are just on like a Zoom or like
It's
this?
a Zoom. It's a Zoom, but we're
And then
not.
y'all are, and then you're
We just say a
muting.
prayer when we get started, and then we put ourselves on mute, and we make calls for an hour.
Okay, but you put yourself on mute and you're calling people. And then like if you get off a call, do you get back on the Zoom and say, hey, I just talked to this? What do you do? Why y'all
Well,
don't just be quiet the
if
whole
somebody
time?
wants to get back on and ask a question, whatever they can, but normally we just start making our calls, and it just holds each other accountable, and just make sure we get that time in, because
That's
most
a
of
good
us are just
idea.
doing willy-nilly, calling every now and again. And of course, if you don't have the time, and say the only time you can call is when you're driving here and there, I get that some people are really, really busy and maybe, can't find a time to get on with other people. But you got to say, okay, I'm going to make these calls while I'm driving to the gym. I'm going to make these calls on my way to such and such place. I do that when I'm listening to books. I'll say, I'm reading this book and I'm listening while I'm on my way to the gym, and I'm listening on the way back. That way I get, 20, 30, 40 minutes in of reading. But the thing is that you just have to schedule it, because if you don't, then all types of things will, you just won't get it done. That's been my
Okay,
experience.
so this is called the Hour of Power.
I call it Power Hour.
Power hour. That is a great tip. Thank you for thinking. Think of if all of us did that. I mean, because I know that we may intend to do something and then I'll do it later. And then next thing you know, the whole day is gone. And then when it get a certain hour, you can't call people at a certain hour because it's too late. So I like that, Juanita. Thank you so much for sharing that. Anybody else got something they want to ask or comment on or share before we end the call?
Burdita, this is Gwen. How are you?
Hey, Gwen.
I'm getting pumped up just listening to everybody. This is exciting. And what I wanted to say is I was pushing real hard, uh, trying to reach my goal for the
Mhm.
trip. And we had some things that happened with my husband medically that slowed me down, that's pulled me here and pulled me there. And we have our devotions every morning. And I was kind of feeling down, feeling bad. I was like, man, I need a few more points. I need, I'm closer than getting it than not getting it. But I was kind of beating myself up. And my husband had to remind me, he said, what you want to know is that when you get to the end, if you didn't make the trip to Hawaii, did you better yourself? Did you reach your goals and other intention? Did it make you start reaching out to more people every day? Have you started pushing harder? I see you working harder. I see you doing more. So now you've established another work ethic. You may miss the prize, but you didn't lose the race. That's what
Oh
he
my
said to
God.
me.
I love that.
So we got to remember that, and it freed me up to be able to say, well, I'm gonna push all I can. I'm gonna do
And
all
you're
I can.
developing skills.
Right. And did it hurt us? It didn't set any of us back. We all are getting better because we know that we can do it now. Okay? Because we had our eyes on the prize. So we gotta always, even when our Hawaii's off the board, we gotta put our own self set another goal for our own selves. And that freed me up because I was starting feeling down. He said, no, mm-mm. You still, if you miss the goal, you still win. But you want to feel good about it and know that you did everything you could
That's
to
right.
reach it. So I just wanted to say that, and I appreciate you. And it's if it's to be, it's up to me. That's what
Yep.
we got to remember.
That's right. I want to
Okay.
say one more thing before we end the call. Y'all know we have the incentive to develop directors all the way to I think it's the 12th or 13th of April. And it's not just a title, it's the level that opens up the mentorship matching bonus. You know, I had a person that hit director last week, and when they hit director, it added about 370 extra dollars to their check because you get that $250 breakthrough bonus. You get 500, but they give you 250 up front. But it opened up the mentorship bonus for that person. It also provided more level earnings bonuses. And so it's more, and so it's just, that was very exciting for that person. So that the company wants us to develop the leaders, and they gosh, where they're paying us way more. Remember, you're getting something like 18%, 15%, all this kind of stuff on that person's whatever they make in the binary and whatever they make in the level earnings bonus. That's just an extra bonus. So most of the ways of pay we don't even get, to be honest with you. But the level earnings, the binary, the mentorship, the breakthrough, the when they first get started, that you got to take advantage of those. You got to take advantage of those. And that breakthrough bonus is everything. So let's focus. And another thing is that this incentive trip started way back in October. If you start out, I said it from the very beginning, if you start out just maintaining your rank, try to maintain your rank. See, because we are, executives or above, you get 2 points every week. That's 34 because 17 weeks, 34 points right off the bat. If you can maintain your rank, just maintain your rank. That's one thing. And then if your rank, the next rank is too far away, then don't worry about that. You got people that you're helping reach their rank. You get points for that. When that person hit the record, guess what? That was 7 points for us. That person reached 7 points. I think he may have gotten 15 or 20. I don't know what he got. I can't remember. I think he may have gotten 15 or 20 points, but we got 7 because we personally enrolled that person. So definitely, when we have these incentives, take advantage of it so that we can start taking the team, y'all, so we can have more fun that way. But listen, with that being the case, I'm going to end the call. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Remember, there are no more Zoom calls for the This Is It team starting tomorrow all the way to next Wednesday with Steve and Gina come back from their cruise. They'll be the Wednesday night that's in honor of President's Day. So no Saturday training or anything. But as far as our team, the Digital Alliance Zooms, we're still doing them as far as I know. But thank you all so much for jumping on. This call has been recorded. Take care. Bye-bye.